Good afternoon, E-Huddle. Please don't fall asleep on me, I promise. I will not be long before you today. First, I want to say thank you to Jose Cortez and his team for giving me the invitation to share my experience of being the pastor of one of the most smallest church in my beautiful conference, okay? Family, I have the privilege of serving as the pastor of the Mount Olive Seventh-day Adventist Church in Marion, South Carolina. How many of you have heard of Marion, South Carolina? Yep, me neither. I didn't know about it till I got here as well. Family, it is about 30 miles outside of Florence, South Carolina, which is on the eastern side of South Carolina. And family, I just want to share with you how this one simple word, compassion, totally revolutionized this small rural community and brought my church back to life. Can I share that with you? Let's do it. Family, I don't think I have my clicker. Is my click? Oh, here it is. All right. Okay, got it. Family, after the pandemic, after we came back to church, when I stepped foot into my church, this is what I saw. Am I by myself? There was no one in the church but my wife and I. And I couldn't understand why it was just my wife and I in a church. Apparently, the members were skeptical about coming back to church after the coronavirus. But E-Huddle, mind you, they had no problem going to the grocery store each week. You hear what I'm saying? They had no problem going to their grandkids' birthday party each month. But suddenly, when it came to coming back to church, everybody suddenly had a problem. You hear what I'm saying? And so, family, I remember sitting there discouraged. And as the weeks and months went on, 8 people showed up consistently. And when I say 8 people, my wife and I were included in that 8. So there were technically 6 people, but I just wanted to sound a little impressive by saying 8 people. Is that all right? It was only 6. And out of the 6 family, out of the 6, everyone was over the age of 65. Am I the only one in the building? Mind you, my wife and I, we are the youngest people in this church, and this is problematic. I'm going to explain to you why. The average age in my city, Marion, South Carolina, was 43 years old. But the average age in my church was 69 years old. If you ever want to determine the health of a church, simply compare it with the average age of your church with the average age of the surrounding community, and you will quickly discover what problem you have on your hands. Family, there was no active ministry, no food pantry, no community service, definitely no pathfinders, because there was no young people at all. That was the culture, all right, family? And so, as you know, we needed to do evangelism now. And so my church and I, we came together and we decided that July 2021, we were going to have our first evangelistic meeting. And family, we were excited. We decided to do pre-work the traditional model, with the traditional model of evangelism, which is simply, the traditional model is simply whenever you, don't fail me now, There we go. The traditional model of evangelism is whenever you invite Bible workers alongside with your church members to come together and knock on doors to pass out Bible studies and flyers, all right? That's what we did, the traditional model. And what we discovered, and this is the methodology behind it. The methodology or the marketing strategy behind this is that the more doors you knock on, and the more flyers you pass out, the more people will come to your church. But family, we quickly discovered that this did not work in our context. We knocked and knocked on doors and no one opened the door. The individuals that did open the door, we discovered that they were extremely skeptical about talking to us. Okay? And so we didn't understand why they were so afraid of talking to us. But the individuals who finally we were able to talk to told us that the reason why they were not coming to our church was because they said that they don't believe in church anymore. And this is what we're dealing with. We are dealing with a generation that is becoming more and more secular. They don't believe in God. You hear what I'm saying? And so what we found was we were knocking and knocking on doors. And this is particularly disturbing because there was a time, especially in the South, when people would be open and receptive if you said, I'm a part of a religious organization, I'm a part of a church. I even remember there were a time when they would let you into their homes and give you sweet tea and give you water and said, tell me more about your Jesus. But there's a shift happening, okay? And I want to explain to you what we had to do. I remember I was speaking with a young lady and she said to me, Pastor, I'm not coming to your church. I said, explain to me why you're not coming to my church. She said, because the only thing that the church care about is making bigger churches and building larger parking lots. You hear what I'm saying? And so anyway, she said, I'm not coming to your church. And the moment that she said that, I realized, family, that an idea popped into my head called the Compassion Project. The Compassion Project that we came up with is called 10 Days of Compassion. I actually got the idea from Jose Cortez. Confession is good for the soul. In 2013, Jose Cortez did a compassion project in New York City. Do you remember that, Jose? What he did was he went and did random acts of kindness for people all over New York City. And I said this, Jose, if it could work for Jose in New York City, then certainly I could bring it down to my little small town called Marion, South Carolina. And that's exactly what I did, okay? 10 Days of Compassion was simply the church doing random acts of kindness for the community, okay? Let me explain to you how it worked. What we did is that we merged service with the evangelistic crusade each night, okay? That's all we did. I know everybody is tired of seeing this quote. I don't want you to fight me. I don't want you to beat me up, but this is how I prepared. So work with me, family, all right? All right, I got this idea from Ellen White. Obviously, she said Christ mingled with the people. He he showed sympathy and won their confidence. And this is what I realized. Okay, here we are. Notice that the first thing that Jesus did whenever he entered a town is Jesus never handed out a flyer and said, come and see me preach tonight at the temple. Can I step on some toes? No. What Jesus did is that when Jesus came into a town, you would find him at your local gas station. You would find him at your local Walmart. You would find him at your local Target. He would be speaking and talking and mingling with people. And then if someone's car broke down, he would fix it. If somebody ran out of gas and they needed a push, he would push it. If a single mother needed diapers, he would go and buy it. You hear what I'm saying? That was Jesus' model. So in following Jesus' model, what we did is that we merged a service project with the evangelistic crusade each night. And family, I want you to take a picture of this because I'm going to explain something to you so that you can be able to take this back to your church. Here it is. When we were sitting down trying to figure out how we were going to be a blessing to the people in our community, we sat down and said, what is something that we can do to really help the people in this community? And this is what we discovered, family. We discovered that 2 weeks after our crusade, that the children were going to be going back to school. And so what we said was we were going to buy 200 Nike backpacks, fill them with school supplies, and give them out to the people in our community. And family, that's exactly what we did. We filled those backpacks up. We put a flyer up on Facebook, and we said, come and receive these backpacks. And this was the result. It was packed from wall to wall. A church of only 6 people with the word, with just the word of compassion was able to fill a church up. And this is the good news. We told them, listen, before you get the backpack, you have to first stay and listen to the evangelistic sermon. And watch this, family. No one had a problem with it. Because when you meet legitimate needs, when you mingle with folks, when you show compassion to folks, then they're going to ask, tell me about your Jesus. You hear what I'm saying? And so, family, this is what we did. Night 2, I don't know how to go back if I can go back. Night 2, we decided to do something innovative, okay? We decided to do a community baby blessing. In other words, what we decided to do was we told the community, if you have any kids that have not been blessed, why don't you bring them to our church and we're going to bless them. Now, let me explain to you the psychology behind a citywide baby blessing. When someone's child is being blessed, not only do they invite their mothers, invite their fathers, but they invite their auntie, their cousin, their mothers, their friends, their extended family. And so we had 9 babies being blessed, and with each family, 27 people came into our church per family. 27 per family. There were so many people in my church that they almost called the fire marshal on us. I'm talking about ministry. You hear what I'm saying? And so, family, that's what we did. That's what we did each night. Family, the third night, there were some people in the community said, Pastor, we need diapers. Okay, so watch this. On evangelistic night 3, we got diapers, 5,000 diapers, and we gave it out to the community, and people came back for the evangelistic meeting that night. You see what I'm saying? They had me working like a slave, but family, listen, I didn't mind because it was ministry. We gave out diapers to the people, and the people were so thankful. And every night, my evangelistic campaign was packed. Okay, all right. Let's get to it. The marketing strategy is this: we use the service projects as the marketing tool to fuel the evangelistic service each night. Okay? Okay, let me show you what I did. Here it is. Okay? So in the traditional model, evangelism is mostly done through the Bible workers, the church members, and flyers. But in our contemporary model, we did 100% of the advertisement through the service project and social media. So in essence, social media became our new Bible workers. Okay, let me explain. Let me show you the flyer that we did, okay? All right, then. Notice this is the flyer that we put up on social media to advertise the meeting. Now, I want you to notice a few things. Number one, we did not call our evangelistic meeting an evangelistic crusade, because we understand that we are dealing with a generation that has a high level of distrust for church members or for church. And so what we did is that we turned our evangelistic campaign to a night of inspiration, where we said we're going to inspire your soul, okay? Number two, notice we did not call the evangelist the evangelist. We said that he is a speaker. We told the evangelist, take off your tie, don't wear a suit, take off your collared shirt, and I want you to just simply come down to the members and just be a regular person, okay? Number three, notice something else. The average age in our city was 43 years old. And so I made sure that the evangelist face reflected the age of the people we were trying to reach. You get what I'm saying? When you're doing it, when you do evangelism, you have to think everything through. All right? So he was around their age. So when they saw him on the flyer, they said, I can identify with him. He is not the ordinary church that we're used to. He's around our age. And that flyer alone brought the people. All right? So that was the Night of Compassion flyer. Now let me explain to you our flyer to promote our service project, okay? Family, if you notice something about our flyer, is that you will notice that we were very intentional about making sure that we market all of our service projects to children. There was a reason for that. According to every scientific research, you'll find the demographic that is leaving our church the fastest is Generation Z and millennials. And what we discovered, watch this, if the average age in our city was 43 years old, then that means that the majority of the individuals who have kids are millennials. This is what I've discovered. Biggest discovery of this meeting. Here it is. That whenever you are trying to win that demographic back to your church, you cannot focus on actually winning them. What you have to do to win them back is to focus on their children. Because watch this, family. Everybody, no matter who you are, no matter how you feel about the church, will always love your kids and want to invest in their spiritual journey. And so by investing in their spiritual journey, if you win their kids, then eventually you will win their parents. And that was our aim and our goal. Family, our new motto is if we want to win millennial and Generation Z, we got to go after their kids, because their kids are the real missionaries. Okay, all right. Okay, they're the real missionary. They're the one that's going to evangelize to their parents, all right? And family, that's what we did. We went after all of the kids, and the kids rose their hands and drove and said, listen, I want to be a part of this church. I want to be a part of this church. And families were baptized together because they because the kids pulled their parents to be a part of our church. And family, let me tell you, we had one of the largest baptism in the state of South Carolina. 51 individuals were baptized by using this model. It gets better. It gets better. At the end of the year, by the end of the year, 20 more individuals decided to be baptized. And so last year, by the grace of the living God, I was able to baptize 70 souls for the kingdom of God by simply showing compassion. 90% of the people that I baptized were under the age of 50 years old. They were mostly, I believe it was 83% of the people that I baptized were millennials and Generation Z. They're telling me, I gotta go. This is the last thing I discovered with using this model called compassion, and I'm done. Here it is. Family, I experienced something called reverse appeals. Traditionally, the pastor is the one who stands up and says, according to my brother, does anybody want to give their lives to Christ and be a part of our church? What we discovered was that instead of the pastor asking the question, the people asked the question to the pastor, saying, what must we do to join this church, because we love what you guys are doing for the community. And so let me tell you, we didn't have to push people. We didn't have to pry for people to be baptized. They simply jumped on board and said, Pastor, we want to join this church. And so, family, all I want to say to somebody in this room, especially to our 7-day, oh, goodness, I got to tell you about retention. So sorry, I'm going over, family. Listen, here it is. One of the biggest problems we have in North America is retention. And by God's grace, from January of 2021, we were able to retain 63% of the 70 we baptized last year. And I promised Jose Cortez I was going to explain my retention model. Here it is, family. Every night, every Thursday night, we have a new believers class. No members are invited. Only new believers, because we don't want the members giving their superior ideas. We just simply want them to be open and to feel comfortable to ask questions about discipleship, okay? So we have that once a week. Number 2, we made sure that every single member mentored a new believer. But the most important aspect of retention is this. Once a week, I pick out a day out of my schedule to call every single person that got baptized last year, and I simply just say, how was your day? Tell me about your life. Let me talk to you. Let me pray with you. And what I discovered about especially people in the South is that they appreciate when the pastor is the one that takes time out of their day to reach out to the people and ask, how are you doing? And they build that relationship with the pastor, because the only thing that keeps people in church are relationships. And so by God's grace, I've been able to keep them by simply keeping in contact with them. eHuddle, it has been an honor. It has been a pleasure to do this presentation. I pray that you will know and learn this. 7-day Adventists, people don't care about how much you know until they know how much you care. God bless you. Thank you.